Ladies and gents, we have an absolute banger on our hands today as I'm going to be interviewing my student Izzy, who is one of the most recent successes in my one-on-one coaching program, Bold Ecom, who recently joined the program less than 60 days ago. He's an absolute baby, a Nimmo, but he scaled his dropshipping store from zero to over $3,000 a day. And today we're going to be discussing how he found his winning product, how he built his website, how he's testing offers to make his website print money, and how he's creating new ads that are absolutely crushing over on Facebook. So Israel, I'd love if you could just cover your numbers and also just briefly introduce yourself and how you got into dropshipping.
So yeah, my name is Israel. I've been dropshipping since 2020, but at that time I didn't really know exactly what I was doing. I was kind of just playing a little guessing game and seeing some sales here and there, but nothing consistent. And I never was able to crack a profit until I started this program. If we go through the numbers, I can kind of explain everything that happened from August up until now. So it's been about a little bit more than 60 days since I started scaling this product. So yeah, I guess how I found the product, obviously, you know, Ethan's course was extremely valuable. That's another thing for me. In my product research, I kind of only had one way to look for products, and I wasn't really validating products in terms of demand, but that's one thing that the program really helped me to do. So the way I found the product is I looked on Temu, I looked on Amazon, I verified that there was demand on Amazon, and it was on, the Temu bestsellers list. And then I noticed that it was honestly not this product that I saw doing so well. It was a different product. And then I noticed that there was a subsidiary product that was basically completed the same function as the product that I saw, and I saw that product was doing so well. So I wanted to see if, maybe if I test this product, it would do good. So I launched the campaign on August 10th. If we go to August 10th, then we can see what happened that day. And what happened that day was pretty magical for me. Because,
made some sales.
Yeah, we made like 3 sales. Normally for me, it's like when I'm testing a product beforehand, even if I don't make a sale the first day, I'm still like, okay, second day, we're going to lock it in. We're going to make the sale on the second day. Yeah. But for this product, on the first day, we made 3 sales. Extremely profitable, right? So yeah, it was good. And then from there, I started adjusting things. I think the next week, if we look at the next week, did like $500. But all this time, it was still kind of slow. But all this time, so what was happening, and you can also see it's reflected in the conversion rate. The conversion rate was like 2% here because I was trying to figure out which offer would work best. There were some days where it's like, okay, I tested an offer and it didn't really work so well. And then I was just kind of, going back and forth between different offers until I found the offer that worked for me. Obviously, it was this week, right? So there was a huge jump.
Conversion rate doubled.
Exactly. Yeah. Conversion rate doubled. There's a huge jump. You can see August 18, we did 67. And then 2 days later, we're doing $600, right? A big part of this too was the ad creatives, because that is what I have come to realize has been the most important thing in actually converting and, making the shop live is the ad creatives. Initially, what I used to do is I would test maybe 4 or 5 ripped creatives off of Facebook, and that was it.
That's most people. No, you're not alone in that. That's It's very basic, and hey, it can work. There's definitely some ripped ads that I've tested that have worked, and I'm totally opposed against that, but I also like the flexibility of making your own ads from scratch. At least in my experience, tends to outperform any ripped ads because you can already see what works and then make adjustments, make it even better.
Exactly. Yeah, so like I would literally just test 4 ripped ads. That would be it. And then I'd be so downtrodden when I'm like, it didn't work, like all my hard work. But it's like now I have more of a reference of like what it takes to actually get here. So for this product specifically, I made 30 ad creatives. I think that's more of my strategy now. I just dump as many creatives, obviously like very high quality creatives as well. Can't compromise on quality, especially on the creative side. But yeah, I made 30 different ad creatives, and just to put it into perspective, out of those 30, only 2 of them were profitable, right?
Yeah.
But those two that were profitable gave me extremely valuable information that allowed me to make more creatives that were similar or based off of the same marketing angles as those two creatives, which allowed me now to have more creatives. And that's how I've been able to scale the
Yeah, can we see
store.
the most recent week since you've been scaling this product up over the last kind of 30 days, it looks like?
Yeah. So if we go the most recent week,
Yeah,
yeah,
7x doing
yeah,
consistently. I mean, you did 3K in a week. Now you're doing 3K every day.
exactly.
Conversion rates stayed the same relatively, but AOV's bumped up. And yeah, it's just great to see the numbers. So, I mean, there was a lot of things you said there. And I think we
Mhm.
should definitely try to break down each one of those individually with, like you said, offer, split testing, testing a lot of creatives. So we'll
Yeah.
get into all that. But I wanted to start with the product selection. So what was the difference between products that you were testing when you initially started dropshipping? Like you said, you started 2020, so you've been kind of off and on. But how are you evaluating products then compared to the products you tested now that became the winner? Like you said, looking for sales validation and also finding on Temu, which is great because anyone can do that. It's totally free.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there any other differences between like products that you kind of sprayed and tried to test in the past versus now?
But the first product that I ever tested was a winner. It was in 2020. You know those like booty scrunch leggings?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so I was really, or that was the first product I ever, sorry, not the first product it was the first product that I did Facebook ads with. So like
Mhm.
proper like test, right? But yeah, like I remember I launched a product and it was very silly ad creative, but the way that I was validating products was very different to the way I do now, because now it's like, okay, we have multiple criteria.
Yeah.
Before I even decide, okay, I'm gonna lock in and test this product. Before it would just be like, okay, I'll look at other sellers, see if other people are doing it, and then I won't really look too much about on demand. I'll just like, oh, is it like kind of somewhat trending, and then from there that's it. And then I'm testing the product, I'm committing my time to it, when it's in reality it's like, okay, that might work sometimes, but over time it's not the best way to do it. What I did see is over time most of the products that I test lost, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So now what I do is I validate. I have a bunch of criteria that like Ethan really helped me a lot with this as well, with his course, and like all of the criteria that we have to validate a product, like the demand on Amazon, making sure that it's doing at least 30 grand in monthly recurring revenue on like the top Amazon listings, making sure that, you know, it's not like just a silly product. Right now, I specifically only test problem solving products. I think that's what has worked the best for me, because I take a very logical approach when it comes to creating the ads, and I think that's my forte, I guess, in making ads.
So getting more into testing. So obviously now you have a much more robust way of evaluating products before you put your time, energy, money into it, because obviously that's very valuable. So when it came to building your websites and testing these different offers, like you said, how has that changed from when you first started dropshipping in general?
Yeah, so when I first started dropshipping, my whole mindset towards like conversion rate optimization, split testing offers, and all that stuff, it was just not there. I thought that, you know, if I put a product in front of people and they want it, then all that stuff doesn't really matter. They're just gonna buy it. Terrible mistake. That's not true. So yeah, like now I realize as well that that's one of the most important things. And we can see that play out in this store. We doubled the conversion rate, and that was because that was because of the conversion rate optimization. That was because of the offer. At the end of the day, the ads didn't change. The ads were the same. The product was the same. The only thing that changed was the offer and how we presented it to the customers, right? So yeah, it's huge. Like, and definitely so another thing too is beforehand I would just come up with whatever price I thought was reasonable in my head, and think that everybody would accept that price. Obviously, again, that's not the case. There was a lot of price testing. That was like the first thing that we tested in terms of offer, and we can honestly like get into a little bit of how we did the offer, because this product, it was like initially looking at it, you would think that it is like a low margin product. So it would have been impossible to just sell one of them and attain a profit, right? But what I found was that, okay, if I put it in bundles, then it makes it worthwhile to advertise for it, so we're not losing money there, right? And we can actually make money from it. So we tested a bundle of 2, a bundle of 4, a bundle of 6, and then there were always 3 options for whatever we tested. 2, 4, and 6 did not work, right? That would seem like the most logical thing, right? But it didn't work. Right now what we're doing is we're doing 4, 6, and 8, and what most people are doing, exactly, what most people are doing is either buying 4 or 6 of them, and it's a product that it makes sense to buy multiple or to have many at the same time. So that's what worked. And then from there, we tried to buy one, get one free. Didn't do so well, but the volume discount did a lot better. And that's just how we figured out which offer worked. And the results of like changing the offer, even though it seems like such a minimal thing, it was huge in terms of what it caused at the end of it.
That's exactly what I see in a lot of cases too. I mean, there are so many students where they would be at $1,000 a day, and it's the thing that unlocks the next level of scale to 5 to 10 grand a day. It's just always split testing that offer, because you don't know what's going to work the best. And yeah, if you can acquire traffic at the same cost that you've always been acquiring it at, which might be 50 cents a click or $1 a click, but my website's now 2 times more profitable, I can scale to greater numbers. I can push the budget further. Because typically when you scale up budgets, you're going to be a little bit less profitable. But if you have that padding, that extra margin to play with, where if I spend $50, I make $200 versus I spend 50 and I make 400. Yes, I spend more. I got a gap. So it's so great to see the offer split testing working. And so for you, like you said, you tried all these different offer structures, but that bundle of 4, or starting with that, ended up being the thing that worked the best.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's what worked the best.
That's awesome. Most dropshippers, I think one of the biggest mistakes they make in the beginning is just, let me put one offer, and if that offer doesn't work, I move on from the product. When it is amazing that you could have a winning product and you could even have winning creatives, but if you don't have the right offer, all 3 have to be aligned. And a potentially winning product you might walk away from just because you didn't do enough testing. And it pains my soul when I see stuff like that. So it's good. Like, I mean, just to go back to your numbers, the first week, I mean, you had the product, you had the creatives, it's just, okay, offer wasn't doing as well, so we couldn't scale beyond a few $100s a day. But now we're at $3,000 a day because you found that right offer where the AOV is now higher, profit margins are greater, and that just all came down to split testing. So I am curious, when you first started scaling this product to now, like what has changed? Like, how did you get to this next level of scale outside of the offers? Because I know there was some things media buying wise, it looks like, and creatives. How did you go from a few $100s a day to now $3,000?
Another misconception that I had before is that it takes one creative to get to 100 grand a month or whatever. But that's obviously not the case. I mean, I've heard of cases where it can happen, but that's not the norm.
You need a unicorn ad.
So what happened is I had an ad that worked really well for me at the beginning stages. So I think this week, August 25th to the 31st, was the first week that I made like real profit, right? We did like $4,000 this week, and I had like an ad or 2 ads that were working like really good. But then getting to the next level, and we can like see it progress. The next week we did it was
the same.
So also another thing too is I had a little bit of a unique problem. Facebook did not want to raise my daily spending limit, right? If we look at these weeks here, what we can see, what we can see is all of this time from August 20th to all the way to September 15th, which is basically a whole month. Facebook did not want to raise my spending limit at all, right? So what I tried to do here is I tried to be as profitable as I could be, right, with what I was given, and also making new creatives, like constantly testing new creatives, right? So this is the reason why when Facebook finally allowed me to upgrade my daily
Yep.
spending limit, you can see that we went from like doing like an average of like maybe $500 or $600 a day to the next day 700, and then the next day 1,000, and then the next day 1,600, and then it keeps going.
So that was the main issue that you faced when you were trying to scale. It wasn't really a profitability issue, just like that spend limit was kind of the main issue, or was there any other problems that you faced during this time? So when it came to scaling, like you said, what's kind of the main media buying thing move that you've been doing? You said vertically scaling. So I don't know if we could take a look at the ad account real quick. It seems like though doing some ABOs, potentially just vertically scaling up those budgets when they are working, or is there another method that you also like?
Yeah, so another thing I realized is that Facebook is pretty random in how they get you sales, I guess. Maybe not random, but it's unpredictable. So for example, essentially I had the testing campaign, and within the testing campaign, I just put all the different marketing angles that we were using, and like I made maybe like 5 different ad creatives with a single marketing angle, and then 5 more, and then I just had like maybe 5 or 6 ad sets. So then from those we would see, okay, if a specific ad is like doing really well, then what we did was we would duplicate that single ad into another ad set, and then we put it at different budgets. So for example,
could you show real quick? So let's say, for instance, the top one there, if you could just show how you do that. So let's say that ad group is profitable, just so people know.
Yeah. So say for example, we look at this ad group. So yeah, there's 3 ads in here.
So let's say the top ad, for instance, is the one that performed well. So what would you do in that scenario?
So I would take this ad, I would just duplicate whatever the winning ad is, keep current settings, and then I would do it in the original campaign. I would make 1 copy and then into a new ad set. And then once it's in that new ad set, then I would duplicate that new ad set 3 or 4 times. So then I'd put each ad set at a different budget level. So say for example, I'd have 1 ad set that's at $25, 1 at $50, 1 at $75, 100, 150, whatever, right? The same ad, it's only 1 ad that is in this ad set. I could show you an example of here. So for this one, we can see that it's just 1 ad in the ad set and it has a $75 budget. But if I see that generally, okay, the ad is profitable over all of those ad sets, then what I would do is I would put that ad into a CBO campaign of its own, right?
Awesome. Yep.
So in this CBO campaign, for example, I can show you this was my highest performing ad set that I unfortunately had to turn off, but you can see that it was getting
great cost of purchase, $8 at scale.
$8 and $10. Like these were 2 separate campaigns. So yeah, what I would do is I just put it in a CBO. So you can see that here it's just 3 of the ads that were doing well with that marketing angle. And we can see here that it was really only 1 of them that got any sales. And then I would duplicate the ad set 3 times or twice. So I have 3 different ad sets and just put them in the CBO. And you can see here in the CBO, like it's going crazy, like $10, $11, $9 for each of the ad
consistently,
sets.
Each one's doing great. So just to recap, so how you like to test is multiple ad groups for each angle that you're testing. So for instance, if I test a product and I have 4 different marketing angles, I'd have 4 ad groups with 4 to 5 ads for each angle. So it could be how to, problem solution, 3 reasons why, green screen. Then once you have a winning ad group, like you said, you'll take the winning ad. So let's say how to is the winning angle, and we had 2 winning ads in there. So we'll duplicate that 2 to 3 times in new ad groups in that same campaign. So that's one way of scaling. And then the second way, take those 2 winning creatives, move them into a CBO, have 3 ad groups with just those 2 creatives inside. So was those the main 2 ways? Was there any other way you liked, or just sticking with those and then increasing budgets?
Yeah, those were the main 2 ways. And then what I would do is once I get the CBO campaign, then I would steadily start scaling that budget. So yeah, maybe I'd start at $100 and then just work my way up to $300, $400 and just make sure that it's maintaining like profitability as I'm scaling it. Obviously, we're not scaling 200% in one day. we're keeping it below that 25% mark in a day, and then just doing it like regularly. And then another thing that I would do is if I have like a group of creatives, like maybe 4 or 3 or 4 creatives that are like crushing it, different marketing angles, but they're all doing well. So I'd take all of those creatives and I put them into an Advantage Plus campaign. You can see here that this, apart from the testing campaign, this Advantage Plus campaign was the one that got us, the most purchases, right? So in here, we can see it's just all the winning creatives are put into one ad set, an Advantage Plus campaign, and then we just run all of them. And then I was scaling this as well. And we can see, again, the majority of the sales came from one ad creative. But the others still had
the bottom one was also working well too. That's great. So those are kind of the 3 main ways: Advantage plus those CBO scaling campaigns and winning creatives. But it all boils down to, you got to test creatives, you got to identify winners, and then you got to put more money into them. And those are 3 great ways to put more money into them. So just transitioning off of the ad account specifically into with the Bold Ecom program, was there anything in particular with this program that helped you, grow this brand and get these results fast, whether it be templates or coaches or just resources that helped you scale to this level?
Everything was really helpful. Like the course, the templates were really helpful. One thing that I really focused on is, especially when it comes to the video side, the video frameworks, because that is something that I was freestyling beforehand. I would just think, okay, like let's start with this, move on to this. But like once you have frameworks that have been working for people and are proven to work, and it's like it makes logical sense, like it's basically like you're making the customer, you're directing the customer's thoughts, right?
Exactly.
So when you have like a logical and proven way to do that, it makes it so much easier to not only make creatives but replicate results, right?
Exactly.
So it's like once I have a marketing angle that, say for example, I'm using a problem solving framework, and then I have a marketing angle that's working well with it. Now, when I want to come up with another ad, it's very easy for me to just, okay, I'm going to think of a new marketing angle and I'm going to just copy and paste the same exact framework, right? So that's really like where a lot of the money was made for me, right? Because I had like a couple different marketing angles that were working, pretty decently. And then I thought of another marketing angle. I copied and pasted the same thing, and that was my best performing ad ever. Like it trumped, like the other ones were getting like $20 purchases. This one was getting $8 purchases, right? Just changing the framework. I mean, changing the angle and keeping the framework exactly the same. Like if I were to show you the 2 creatives, you would be shocked that it was almost the same creative. It's just like
one or 2 variations.
One word was changed here, and then the images were just switched out, but it was so easy to just replicate that, right? So that's like, that was extremely useful, and like having dialogue as well for me was a huge thing, because like I know one thing that made me want to be in the program at the beginning was one thing you said about how like you can figure it out by yourself in a year, but if you have like a mentor with you and you have like people around you that are like working towards the same goal, and you can have that dialogue, and you don't have to always like be unsure of yourself, like you could really condense that into like 3 months. And like this is a prime example, because it hasn't even been 3 months that I've been in the program, right? But it's just like, I'd say the most important thing is like just being consistent with it, like don't always expect to win, but if you don't win, learn from it and like fail really quickly so you can like just keep moving on, right? That was the biggest thing for me. And like also it was like sorry?
Yeah, the sooner you can fail and stack those L's, I mean, the sooner you're gonna win, because this is a game all about failure and learning and adapting and improving and iterating from all those failures.
Yeah, like having that dialogue, like it really helped to like keep pushing, because what I noticed is when I was doing it myself, like I was my only motivator really, and there was not much of pressure to really make it in a sense. So it's like, okay, if I put in my all and I test a product and it doesn't work, I'm like, damn, like, and then it's just, you're kind of stuck in a little bit of a rut. But now being in this program, it like set different expectations where it's like I'm not I'm not a superhero. Every single product I test is not going to work. That like I shouldn't expect it to be that way, right? What I should expect though is to have a system in which I can win, you know, a decent amount of times, right? So yeah, that's one thing that really, in terms of like mentality change, it really helped me to keep like pushing, because like I'd test one product, it wouldn't work. I'd make 30 ads, none of the ads would work. It's scrapped, onto the next. None of those work. Scrapped, onto the next, you know? And then it's just, after that, it's just a matter of time. And, you know, like the coaches, like my coach, especially Franz, he was so super helpful. Having that dialogue as well with him, it was really helpful to like, okay, maybe this is why this didn't work. Let's see what could work in the future. What can we learn from this? What can we take away from this? What do we do differently? And then it's just like, at the same time, like you're getting your reps in and you're improving, like each test is better than the last test, right? So I'm sure that if I was doing it myself, I might just think that, oh, what I'm doing is correct because of all these YouTube gurus that I'm listening to. Then I might be making the same mistake over and over again, but I would probably never know, right? So awesome. I think it was extremely helpful.
So final question really at this point, for the people watching this video right now and saying to themselves, yeah, you know, I'm kind of on the fence. You know, I'm in a similar situation where I'm kind of struggling. I'm not really seeing much success. Maybe I'm making a few sales here and there. Would you recommend for them to consider booking a call with our team just to, get into the program and get access to these resources and coaches?
I would definitely recommend it 100%. And also another thing to consider is the amount of investment that you make towards reaching your goal is proportionate to the amount of effort that you put into it, right? There's a ton of different programs out there. There's a ton of information online or whatever, but if you stick to a system, if you have a group of people that are killing it and you're able to, you know, talk to them, communicate, and you also have that investment, because you're investing in, not only are you investing in the program, you're also investing in yourself, right? And it's very easy to see now that, okay, whatever I invested in the program has been returned to me. It's like we're looking at the ROAS now, right? Like it has been returned to me and more, right? So 100%. I would definitely recommend it. Beyond anything, like definitely book a call.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And I totally agree as well. Like you have to be in a situation where you have to invest in yourself. You have to really believe in yourself. You have to take that shot, take that risk. And yeah, in a lot of cases, that's kind of the confirmation joining a program like this, that, oh, now I have to be legit. I have to be serious. My back's against the wall here. And that's a pressure that a lot of people do need. Otherwise, you're going to just be lackadaisical and keep doing what you're doing. There's not much pressure on yourself, because I think even for you, like, yeah, you had to put in work. Like this wasn't just, okay, you learned some templates and now you're making money. Like you had to put in some work. It doesn't, it's not just a walk in the park. Like you have to really dedicate yourself to this, which it sounds like you did. Now, if you're interested in getting the exact course, one-on-one coaching, and the support that Izzy said was fundamental for him to finally see success and break through with his dropshipping store, then feel free to book a call down below with my team, and we will give you the exact details as how we will help you scale your brand from 0 to over $1,000 a day in the next 180 days, like so many of our other student successes, or we will keep coaching you for free until you do.